Hello, I'm Eric Miskell with EMSNOW, and welcome to this edition of EMSNOW Up Close. Today, I get to speak to Joel Scutchfield again. Joel, of course, is the general manager of SMT and Semicon business operations with Koh Young America. Joel, good to see you. Good to see you wearing the company colors there today, too.
Rocking the polo. Yeah, it's summer. It's hot. It's getting hotter. So here we go. Yeah, and always great to be with you, Eric, and really enjoyed these conversations. Seems like we were just at Apex, and now here we are staring down the July 4th holiday weekend in just a few weeks. And wow, yeah, summer is before we know it, we're going to be in Guadalajara starting off the fall show season, right?
That's right. Amen. That's right. That's coming up too. Listen, what I wanted to talk to you about, because I know that, of course, Koh Young is known as a world leader in 3D measurement and inspection technology, and it's
Mhm.
used in electronics assembly, so mostly associated with SMT. But of late, Koh Young's really making a move into the semiconductor side. So I wanted to kind of explore what's happening there with you and let you kind of explain. What's happening, what's behind it, and what Koh Young is doing. So let's kind
Sure.
of jump in there. If you kind of what factors have led to Koh Young's expansion into semiconductor and also advanced packaging markets?
Well, and that's a great question, right? I mean, it starts with the fact that we have technology that's well suited to address the needs of that space. If we back up a little bit, um, you'll know that we have actually been in this space to a degree for many years now. And what I mean by that is with our Meister series and its
Mm,
predecessors, the Prime, et cetera, we have installed multiple hundreds of machines in that system and package world for things like flip chip BGA, flip chip CSP, fan out wafer level inspection. Again, packaging related, but what I consider to be more of the kind of the hybrid, the bridge between true SMT and now wafer level processing on the semicon side. So we have a very good presence, and those systems are installed at uh, basically a who's who of the major global OSATs that are out there, primarily in Asia, but also here in the U.S. to a degree. So where we're at today is simply trying to expand that. Much of that was originally driven by the CHIPS Act, which has seemingly lost a little bit of steam. Many of the people I spoke with last week at the ECTC conference in Dallas seem to agree, but there is still this major inertia, I feel, and I think most there did as well, to reshore, nearshore, if you will,
mhm.
both in the U.S. and in Mexico. Due to all of the geopolitical issues and supply chain and tariffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think most feel like it is still coming with or without CHIPS Act funding to some degree or another. And we want to be ready for that. We want to play in that world again. We have technology that suits that well. We want to expand what we have and grow more on the wafer level side. Again, on the back end, advanced packaging, et cetera, and now have some technology to do that. So
Mhm.
yeah, we
Okay.
can talk a little bit about that here as we go.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I want to follow up on with something you just touched on there, the ECTC conference that you
Hmm.
just attended.
Hmm.
And that's the IEEE ECTC conference that they do. And we were chatting about that a little bit before the interview started. But
Hmm.
so explain how does your participation in that particular conference align with your growth roadmap?
Okay. Yeah. It was something that we were advised to take a look at by someone that we do a lot of work with on the AI development side with one of the major universities in the state of New York, and so this was our third year of participating, and for all three of those years we're in a brand building phase in this space, for the
Mhm.
back end, beyond again those people that already know us that we've been working with primarily in Asia. So first and foremost, it's an opportunity, as it turns out, to really get access to very high level people from all over the world, believe it or not, in this 3-4 day space, 4 day window, and and share with them, what we are doing in this world, beyond what they might know about us already. And again, it is all of that. It's branding, it's networking, it's again letting them know, who we are, what our part is and will be as we go forward. And it's been great. I think this year I heard attendance was up about 20%. I think we're somewhere in the 2,500 participant range, and it seems to be growing with each year. We have gone to the extent of being the prime sponsor for a significant event that takes place the night before the last day of the conference, which they refer to as the gala, and all these folks come in for again some beverages and food and all of that, and again networking discussions. We have the opportunity with that to stand up and spend a few minutes telling that group specifically, with a microphone and the room turned down, what it is we do. So that's been very beneficial, and it's starting to resonate. So it's definitely something we want to keep in the rotation. And
so is the nature of that show kind of more tabletop, or is it a big kind of booth with equipment and everything as like Apex?
very much the former. It is
Okay.
it's a 10 by 10 primarily booth space. Some go a little bit larger, but it's not machines. It's not Semicon West. It's not Apex. It's primarily a backdrop video, but it's conversations, and you would be surprised how many quality conversations you can have at that type of event if the right people are there. And in this
Right.
case, that's exactly what we have.
Okay. Now, again, I wanted to follow up about before we get more of the technology stuff about what you're doing as far as advancing and raising awareness in the space. And part of that is is your relationship that you've started with NTV USA and Sparks Consulting. So talk about what is the strategic role that those partnerships play for Koh Young America here.
Yeah, absolutely. For a period of time, and I'm talking years now, multiple, not 10 or 15, but
Yeah.
2 or 3, since this CHIPS Act thing started to really resonate, and since we made the decision to pursue this space to a much greater degree, we've wrestled with how we go to market, how we get access to these people, which are very different in many cases from the people that we're working with on the SMT side. Now, having said that, there are still people on the SMT side that are going to play in this in some way or another,
Yeah.
primarily the mil-aero guys for, again, system and package, uh, wire bond inspection, et cetera, et cetera. So we're still paying attention to those. But for the most part, and especially when we get into the wafer level inspection itself, we're talking about a completely different uh, clientele, if you will, right? It's different customers, it's different people, and our SMT guys don't go there. That's not their world. Traditionally, there hasn't been enough here in the Americas for them to chase. So they focus on SMT. We want them focused on SMT.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of choices, right? We either go out and hire a direct guy and have him run around the country and try to knock on these doors, which we will eventually do as well to coordinate with now these manufacturers reps that have a vast amount of experience in this space, in the advanced packaging world, in the what we call round and square panels versus the wafers. And so they're working in the round world, and we like that. So they're going to be able to open doors at places that in some cases we didn't even know existed, because that's not where we traditionally go. And we're already getting traction there. We brought them in for some extensive training, very intense 4-hour packed delivered by the folks from Korea that came over to support this event as well, from the factory, and it was extremely well received. And you could see it at the conference itself as they were then able to, relay that messaging to take that information and have very productive conversations with many of the people that were in attendance. Some they knew previously, some they did not. So yeah, we feel like that's going to be a good move for us. We're really happy with the folks that we've aligned with, and we're kind of putting the finishing touches on our business plan to go attack that space in a more aggressive manner here throughout the remainder of this year and certainly into next year.
Okay. So it strikes me that you're obviously some adjustment is necessary, both in the approach, but talk from a technology side. How do you have to adapt your technology and your market approach for the semiconductors industry's expectations, really?
Sure. Well, and that's a great question. In like with most endeavors where you are seeking to break into a space where others have been for
Mhm.
a long period of time, you have to differentiate, right? You really have to give these customers, potential customers who have been using what are now going to be your competitors for many years, and in many cases, very happily, a reason to listen to your message, to show them how, with the differentiation that we offer, it can be of value to them. And that's obviously in our world comes back to the three-dimensional aspect, the volumetric side of metrology, which is really how they refer to it in that semicon space. It's all metrology as opposed to measurement. It's both, but we have to, again, you said how do you adjust? Well,
Yeah.
we have to get our head around that, right? We are now providing metrology tools to these manufacturers, and again, the differentiator, as it was relayed to us from these conversations we had last week, was the dimensional aspect, the volumetric aspect, the proflometric, the shape, all of that from a 3D perspective, which seems like it's something that we're going to be able to add that doesn't exist to the extent, at least, that we can do it. So we've developed some technology specifically for that, for the sub 30 micron, micro bump ball
Mhm.
space at the wafer level, which is going to take to be able
Yeah.
to move the needle to get in and really 30 micron and down. Now, what is also unique about this space, especially when you get into those very, very fine features, point X, micron, 2D really plays a big part as well. So we can't just rely on the 3D that we've been able to hang our hat on for all these years. We have to also supercharge and ramp up our 2D capabilities, which we are doing. And so again, it's a situation where we've done the research, we've done the homework, we've recognized what we need to do. Have feedback from those existing customers in Asia that we've been working with for years, and now feel like we are ready to go forward with something that again can differentiate and can allow us to expand at a hopefully a very very at least steady pace in this
Yeah.
space in that particular market.
Yeah. So when I think of the difference between, your traditional SMT side and the semiconductor side, from a manufacturing floor perspective, I think more clean room, right? When it comes to semiconductor, right? I think
Yeah,
of a much cleaner
very much so.
environment.
Yeah, hands off.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. While SMT is trying to move that way, that's
for
exactly
sure.
what
Yeah,
semiconductor is. And also a lot of, while there's high reliability on SMT, it's a different world with semicon too. How do you have to adjust to that, or is that just that's already built in, so to speak, with the
it
machines?
it is to a degree. It is to a degree. Now, the Meister series is set up for your traditional SMT processing and also panel level packaging processing with the 25 megapixel, 3.5 micron configuration. We were able to do those 30 plus micron balls and bumps. In addition, inspection, again, all the volumetric that I talked about, same as we've done for the SMT side for years. And in addition to that, ball and bump inspection, we're also now doing what we've always done, which is things like shiny die, coplanarity, positional, XY, all of the chip cracks, et cetera, surface anomalies with that three-dimensional technology. So that in itself is not really a, let's say, as it stands exists today, a clean room class 10 type configuration system. So what we've done is we've created the ZenStar platform, which we can now take that Meister head, if you will, that Meister inspection source probe, and place into a system that is equipped with the EFEMs and the FOOPs and all the automated handling systems utilized, robotic load, unload, all within a single container, if you will, a single box, and set that up as a class 10 application for inline automated hands-off processing.
Okay.
Going forward now, and again, that's using the Meister technology, the 25 3.5, for again anything we want to use that for the most part. But when we start going now to those micro bump into that micro bump world, sub 30 micron and down, that changes a bit. We now have to adjust again the technology source that we're using. It's no longer the straight moire that we've used for years and years for building our 3D model. We're now having to change that a bit. We're actually using an element of laser interferometry combined with the enhanced 2D tools that I talked about, and we're calling that currently, as it's being developed, the Zeta. So we will have the ability to put that head inside the Meister also for the inline clean room hands-off processing that's needed in that space.
Yeah. Good answer, by the way. That was excellent. So,
keep it simple, right? Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, right?
As simple as it can be. It's a lot more complex, but yeah, hopefully,
No,
there's a box, there's a head, it does this, it does that, it handles this, it handles that.
There it
is. Then we'll leave the details to somebody that, the applications guys, right?
There you go. But talk about that, how you bridge that gap between the SMT and the advanced packaging too, right? I mean, that's got to be a challenge. So,
well, yes and no. I think, there is a crossover space, as we've said. There is that kind of system and package space where many of the, let's just use, for example, the military folks, right? The mil aero folks are utilizing some combination of your traditional leaded SMT components, whether they be ICs or BGAs or just your standard chip caps and resistors, in conjunction with flip chip devices and other shiny die, et cetera, on a single unit, on a single package, what we call a system and package, similar to what would be inside your phone, right? So you look at that board, it's basically a system built into a single package, but you see kind of a mixture, if you will, of the SMT with the semicon type devices. So we kind of call that the crossover space, and that's the lead in. So again, we want to expand in that world, certainly, but then also more on the traditional 2.5D, where now we're basically stacking layers. We have various interposers, whether they be glass or silicon, but it's all, for the most part, well, it's not all, but much of that for the most part is interconnected via balls and bumps as you stack, right? Up, down, et cetera, and you build upward. The whole Moore's law thing with getting more transistors, more connections in a single package. So once we have that established, that capability for that ball and bump, and we add to it now everything that we've been able to do in the traditional SMT world for many years very well, and probably better than anyone, if I can say so myself. We have something that I think really resonates, because we're covering both. So when we start to do this, okay, the ball and bump, great, but now again, we're also looking at scratches, surface anomalies, chips, et cetera, on shiny die, which is its own challenge, right? Because of the reflectivity, looking at coplanarity, making sure that we have proper ball collapse, et cetera, positional, obviously, and so forth. And then, we haven't even talked about the fact that some of these devices still require an underfill, right? And with the Neptune series, we have that capability for underfill inspection as part of our dispense process offering. So we're really hitting it on multiple levels, and we delivering again what we hope is a turnkey solution, a turnkey package, the full gambit of
Hmm.
maybe not full, but at least a portion to get started, let's say,
Yeah.
of multiple system opportunities, multiple inspection points within the semicon backend advanced packaging process, just like we do on the SMT side.
No, that's excellent. And that kind of leads, I'm curious about the value that Koh Young offers to advanced packaging customers versus traditional players.
So again, I think it's going to start with the three-dimensional technology and the extent that we can advance it in that space beyond what's being used today. I'm not saying it's not used at all today. It is. It certainly
Yeah.
is. But again, we think our flavor, our spin, our ability to go further with that in the volumetric sense, right? The dimensional sense, where we're identifying the Z value of every pixel within that field of view, that is going to be able to set us apart. The other piece to that is the fact that we have an outstanding service team um, across all of Koh Young, but specifically here in the Americas. And service is hugely important to the people in this space. Downtime is, you think downtime's not allowed in SMT? It's
Yeah.
we have one big customer already. Starts with an I. You can probably figure out
Yeah.
pretty quickly who that might be. That's requiring, we call, you better be here in 2 hours, right? So we
Mhm.
have to have a guy basically living down the street, right? And we do that. And so, having the service network in place, knowing that we're going to build that out again, just like we've done in SMT to support the customers where they are. Uh, we're already in a great position to provide some things that are really critical to how they how they need to operate and how they need their suppliers to be able to operate. The other side of that is, as I've said many times, is Eric, as well as I do, who our customers are out there, and it's a who's who, right? On the on
Mhm.
the on the OEM side, on the side of
Right.
the basically the people designing the products that they're going to hand over to, pick an OSAT to build
Right.
for them. Um, with that, we are having regular conversations with those folks, with the A folks, with the N folks, with the with the I folks, with go down the list, right?
Mhm.
At their corporate levels to understand what their needs are. And that provides a huge advantage, I think, for us across all levels of electronics manufacturing,
Mhm.
both SMT and semicon, because we're brought into those conversations early, and everybody is able to share in the results that we provide in what we learn from that.
Mhm.
So that's, we built the trust. We are very well
Yeah.
trusted, and that again is, as we see it, an advantage that we can offer. And we feel like we should always be one step ahead because we're talking with the people that are creating what that next step needs to look like.
Yeah. No, that makes sense because I'd imagine that in there and in those discussions, what I'm assuming Koh Young has to be preparing for heterogeneous integration and kind of
Mhm.
smaller nodes, right?
Of
So
course,
what are
yeah.
you doing in that regard?
So, let's walk before we run. And that's kind of where we're at. I mean, that oversimplifies it again. I say keep it simple, right?
Right.
So, this next phase, which we hope to have available, we have full blown testing at a very well-known provider in the data server space coming up here just in another month or two, and we expect by the end of the year we're gonna have some results from that that will allow us that we can share and will allow us to go forward at a And again, at least a steady rate with expansion of that technology. And again, that's the wafer level, ball and bump. Um, and that's at a fixed, I can't get into the details, et cetera, but I won't say it's at a fixed ball size, but it's within a range, ball and bump range that particular customer needs today, right? And so we know, again, that's just a starting point. So we are already we are already having conversations, active, more than really conversations, design events going on to drive towards smaller, down into that again point X micron range, line spacings, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we know, we know. Look, just like there's X amount of business in the SMT AOI space, X amount of business in the SMT SBI space. There is X amount of business in every level of what you're able to inspect and measure on the semicon side.
Mhm.
Starting with the larger 50 micron and above balls and bumps, but then
Yeah.
also that cuts off at some point, right? Those customers in that space are maybe limited. So to grow beyond that, you have to take it down a notch instead of
Yeah.
kick it up a notch, however you want to refer to it.
Mhm.
And we know that. So
Yeah.
those things are going on, and it's an evolutionary process. And
Yeah.
and so our expectation is that we get through this first round, and we also have some wire bond inspection technology that will be released about the same time. We'll get our legs under us with both of those, and then
Right.
continue to expand in those uh, regions or layers where
Mhm.
the technology that we have available is suitable, and continue to push the envelope to develop to go further
Right.
to expand beyond that.
I hear you talking, and it speaks to what I hear as from a Koh Young corporate perspective, the commitment and the investment, right,
Yeah,
to be world class in this space.
there's no doubt about it. And I will tell you, you know I've been here 10 years now. Well, be 11 in December with Koh Young. And I've seen a lot of evolution and new products and things happening. Dr. Koh is always pushing the envelope. It's always voice of customer. What does the market need? But how do we differentiate? We are never going to be me too. Okay.
Mhm.
We have to differentiate. We have to, in where we can use our 3D technology to differentiate. This particular initiative has gotten legs and taken off at even a faster rate than I was expecting, and I'm very happy to see that. Obviously excited as our reps and the folks that we're going to be working with here, to know that we have this Meister technology today. We can go address those applications, those system and package applications, flip chip, blah blah blah. Today, that's good to go. But the next phase, going into again the round space, the
Yeah.
the wafer level, ball bump down below that 50 micron and
Mhm.
ideally 30 micron space, and being able to do that, let's say going into the early part of 2026. That's exciting. That's really
Yeah.
exciting. And that again, that tells you that when when Dr. Koh says he wants to make this happen, he can make it happen, right?
Yeah.
So he's applied the resources accordingly, and things are happening.
You can do that when your name's on the company, right? So that's
He's got the what do they call it, the easy button, right?
yeah,
Just
exactly.
push it, things happen.
Yeah. Now, listen, this has been a great overview. I've really appreciated this. But before I let you go, though, I just want to say, is there a message that you want to deliver that Koh Young wants to share with semiconductor manufacturers that you'd like to maybe share?
Oh, of course. And it's a little bit of all of the above. It's a little bit of
Hmm.
all of the above, but everything we've discussed here in the last half hour or so that we've been
Yeah.
talking. So we have proven ourselves, certainly, multiple times over in the SMT space over the last 20 plus years, 23 years now, and I think we've also proven ourselves very well in that OSAT space, that system and package space, with major players in that world. Again, over the last 6, 7, 8 years. So, now we're going forward. We've proven that we know what we're doing, right? We've proven that we have technology that addresses the needs of the markets that we're working in, that we're penetrating, trying to penetrate, and we're constantly evolving those for addressing the needs as those needs evolve, right? Using AI, more smart factory, again, addressing the fact that people aren't going to be available here for all this nearshoring, reshoring. So now we take that forward, and as a trusted partner, we are going to be able to provide to you all of that fantastic service network, this ongoing, never-ending evolution in technology that will allow us to be a partner for life, if you will. And we've made the commitment to that. So know us for metrology in the semicon space. Come talk to us, reach out, find us, koyoung.com. Very simple. It's all there. We will get back to you quickly, and let us tell you a little bit more about, again, the specific details. We've given an overview today, but certainly many people, Eric, in this space are much smarter than I am. They are PhD level, and we have to be able to talk with those folks, and we can do that. We have folks that are ready to do that, happy to do that, and we just want the opportunity to have those conversations, and that's what we're working on.
Yeah. Excellent. Joe, this has been fantastic. Great message there to end it. I'm glad to have this initial big conversation about it, and look forward to, as we speak,
Sure.
moving forward, to get some updates. And as I'm watching you, I'm thinking we're going to have to change your background to one that's not SMT now, right?
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we need to adapt. There you go. That's part of the messaging. We need to
exactly right. So
I'll talk to Brent about that. We got to cross
go.
all the I's, dot all the T's.
That's right.
Everything aligns, right?
Depending on what the topic is. But,
that's right.
Exactly. But no, this has been excellent. I look forward to tracking it, and hopefully speaking with you again in the future about advancements as it goes.
I will look forward to that, Eric. Always happy to share, and really enjoy talking with you. This is a great format, and what you do is phenomenal for the industry, and you put in the hard work. You really do. You go out there and you find out what's really happening, and I think that really gives you an edge in your space. So we're very happy to be aligned.
Thank you for that, sir. I appreciate it. Good. That's it. We speak again soon, I hope.
Let's do it.
Take care. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Eric.